Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Huzur is saying that there was a technical difficulty because of which there was a delay in the link up, satellite link up. Huzur is saying it's not the fault of the satellite people, it was a problem here which has been sorted out now.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإن خفتم ألا تقسطوا في اليتامى فانكحوا ما طاب لكم من النساء مثنى وثلاث ورباع فإن خفتم ألا تعدلوا فواحدة أو ما ملكت أيمانكم ذلك أدنى ألا تعولوا. Surah Nisa ayat 4.
This is chapter An-Nisa verse 4. Huzur is saying that in reference to this verse we had reached the final points of the commentary where AIDS was being mentioned, which is the virus, HIV virus, which is caused by the HIV virus. And the reason why this has been explained was that this is a disease which has been inflicted on people as a punishment from God. And Huzur Singh, I've read the references about this before, and this is proven with cert beyond doubt. And Huzur is saying that now even the Christian commentators are saying the same thing, researchers are saying the same thing. And there's a famous television personality has also at an occasion she said his same thing, that I don't think there's any doubt that this disease has come upon them on as a punishment for God, saying that if you break God's laws, then Allah has the power to punish. So this is the subject because of which this we were to mention this disease. And also Huzur is saying that I wanted to tell you that because on Islam there has been some horrific allegations made just out of prejudice. So this is the disease which with certainty it falls on it throws the allegation back in their faces, because this is such a certain a manner of comparison in which there is no estimations. We can say it with a lot of clarity as to which countries have these diseases. And because Wari has said this in extreme prejudice, so it is his country who's been the highest in this regard. Huzur is saying that this is, although it's known, is more spread in the Christian countries, but it's also spread in other countries, but is spread the most in America. And Huzur is saying that now I will put those matters before you, which has been taken from the data statistics Euromonitor 1995, and he writes by 1991 the country with the highest number of reported AIDS cases was. After this there is a list. It means it gives us different countries, and the top country is USA, which he has who's looking at whether he's mentioning deaths. Reported AIDS cases, he's saying in the United States there was 35,669 reported cases of AIDS in 1991, and in 1986 to 1981 the total amount that was reported from America was 200,000, 7,009. And the second number 2 is Uganda, and Uganda in 1991 there was 400. From 1981 to 1990s it was 30,000. Huzur is saying that I wish to, I've mentioned this about Uganda before as well, that part of Uganda is especially infected with AIDS, is a Christian section about which the whole world knows that is where the Christians are and their bishops etc. are there, and they almost the whole country is or whole of that section is Christian, and is called that area is called Slim, and there the AIDS is so predominant there that the people think that the whole population might be wiped out. So Huzur saying, although it's been number 2, but it might well be number 1, because in terms of the population, Huzur is saying that although we want to answer very, but we can't play around with the facts. Huzur is saying that the population of America is a lot. Huzur is saying that it is probably around 250 million, I think. I'm not sure. So you're saying this. So this is 30,000 in reference to that is a lot, but in America, the collection of data in this regard is very good, and if there is any AIDS cases is known about, they immediately add it to the statistics. But in Uganda, it's not the same thing. The area where the people are becoming ill and they are dying, there is no method of gathering the information. Huzur is asking someone if he's ever been there. He said that I've been to Tanzania. That the guy says, Huzur saying that I've been there. Huzur saying that in our hospital there used to be many patients, and we told them that you have to be very careful with them. And Huzur saying that the faces are showing that they are near death, and lots of people are dying day in and day out, although there is no system which records them formally. The other part of Uganda, which is mostly the Muslim majority areas, there is a significant difference. There's such a significant difference that there is no comparison. Is much less in the Muslim countries, but now it is said that because the immorality is spreading across everyone, so even in those areas there are AIDS patients and people are dying of AIDS. There are a lot of incidents of that. And Brazil is number 3, Tanzania is at number 4, and Zimbabwe is at number 5. In general, the countries in the lowest number of AIDS cases, between 86 and 91, were the Middle East, where Huzur is saying that look at where he made the attack, where he made the attack. There is the least AIDS in Yemen. There is not a single case. And the United Arab Republic in 1991, there was not even a single one, but now there are 8 cases have been. There's 8 cases have been mentioned, and so in Kuwait in 1991 there were 3 cases, and in 1986 there were 5. But Kuwait and certain other rich countries, as far as they're concerned, we're saying that countries who have become rich with the wealth of oil, it should be remembered about them that to a large extent their numbers, statistics can give the wrong news, in the sense that the rich people there, they have the capacity that if any one of them has that disease, that at which they can get quotes. If it becomes known that they go to America and they or something and die there in hospitals and no one would know about them, and they wouldn't be mentioned in the local numbers, but the difference is so clear that it is with certainty we can it is their purity. And also Huzur is saying that the Syria is also another country. In about Syria you can't say that they are so rich that they can immediately run out of the country, and there are many restrictions there as well. In Syria, and there was no case in 1991 of AIDS. Neither in 1986 to 1991 there was a single case of AIDS, and this is very clear. It is a very Muslim country. There are Christians there, but they are much fewer. In Bahrain as well, there is no person. Sorry, there is no patient has come to the focus of anyone who is collecting statistics. World Health Organization has made a declaration in this regard, which is worth mentioning. He says that until the 15th of December 1995, in 193 countries of the world, there were 120,000 odd cases were made. Huzur is saying that this I'm now telling you about. Now this is the recent news. This tells you how quickly this disease is spreading and how it's getting out of hand. Until this had spread to 293 countries, and 120,000 odd people were infected with AIDS, and so in 1 year, from January to December, there has been an increase of 26%, which is a horrific. It's very dangerous, because 26% increase tells you that such patients who are ill with AIDS, their relationships are carrying on with healthy people, and as a result of that, there is no you cannot hope for this illness to be contained, because the thing with AIDS is that when a number of people are infected, then they spread it to other people, healthy people, and before the symptoms become evident, the carriers keep continuing it, keep spreading it. Huzur is saying that the research about this disease is that sometimes the HIV positive person can remain can hide the symptoms for up to 8 years, and it could well be that after 8 years the symptoms become evident. And if in 1989 or 2000, if this has to become an epidemic, then 8 years before that, that is in 1992, it could have begun, and many patients who were potentially who are patients, but their illnesses have not become evident. They've been spreading their disease, and like an explosion, this can rise in the world. This warning is important because this has a very deep relationship with the Ahmadiyya Jamaat. The Prophet at his time, when the plague was on the earth as a punishment, and especially in the Punjab, when they denied the Prophet Islam, then Punjab was especially targeted by the plague, and the time of the spread of that disease was from 1898 to 1906, which means that it was the end of the century when this disease started to really flourish, and up to the time after 2006, sorry, 1906, it was leaving at that time. In 1907, then the next plague's prophecy was made, and it was called a kind of plague. These are the words in the Revelation, that it's a kind of plague. As we were saying, I've told you about 100 years as well, that this is my own ideas, which are based on the historical facts. And in the time of Jesus as well, plague used to come as a punishment for people. And when it happened for the first time, after that, after almost 100 years, it came again. So the plague, the Prophet ﷺ is saying, if as a his that the proofs of the signs should also be there should be this similarity between the Prophet ﷺ and Jesus, then it could be that the same history is repeated that was happened at the time of Jesus, that is after 100 years after the first plague, the second plague would come. So we're saying that this strange word of a kind of plague, so we're saying that people at the time probably would not have understood this. So we're saying that when did I write that article? At the behest of your father, who was asking Imam Sahib. So we're saying that obviously I must have written before that. So we're saying perhaps in 1976 I wrote this. So we're saying that Maulvi Abdul Atta Sahib, the late, who is late, who has passed away, he said to me that there are many questions that are asked about the accidents of the time, and the Prophet ﷺ has presented certain signs in his favor, and a lot of them are the incidents of the time. So anyone can get up and say that this is because this is for me, that these natural disasters, etc., are happening for me, and then how can they be wrong, and how can you call them to be? How can you call them God's God's signs? Because anyone can say this is about me. And he said to me that Abul Atta said to me that I should write the response, and was already saying that I wrote an essays, about 4 of them, and he was saying at that time, for the first time I came across this incident, this occurrence, the sign. He was already saying that the word one kind of plague, this is really, I made a note of this. He was already saying that I also studied this history of Jesus as well, and I was surprised and happy to see that Allah had fulfilled the similarity between Jesus and Prophet ﷺ in such a brilliant way. In the first place, where there was the rejection of Jesus, then that's where the plague occurred. And when the Roman empires began to take on the sword against Jesus, against Christianity, then at that time the Roman Empire suffered a horrific plague, and between the first and the second plague, there's been a difference of around 100 years. And this, after making a note of these facts, I was saying that I wrote the essay at the time in which I ascertained that perhaps this prophecy of the Prophet ﷺ would be fulfilled with a new glory, renewed glory after 100 years. or will be fulfilled gloriously, and this would not be just because of this would not just be a natural disaster, because if a natural disaster is predicted before that and then it occurs exactly in accordance to it, then they cannot be called accidents. Allah has not going to make new laws about punishment. His laws of nature which He has made, they prevail over everything, and they are enough. So whenever Allah punishes, He will use the same laws to punish. So there is no question of any new laws, and because the laws of nature are the slaves of Allah, He can use them as He wishes, and it will be used in a way that it will clearly distinguish between a false person and a true person. And if this happens, then no one can make any complaint about it. Otherwise, if this is not the thing, then anyone can get up and say that this happened because of me. And so it's important to know from beforehand. Some people are shown, especially they are kept safe from a particular disease, and the people right around them are ill. So this is not is an accident, although it is the plague became a natural, although it was a natural disaster, but it became a punishment because it used to treat the Prophet Islam's followers in a very exceptional manner, and the Prophet Islam used to present this as a challenge, and no Maulvi can say that the non-Ahmadis died less than the Ahmadis, and the most clearest proof that this is exactly what happened was that the Ahmadis flourished was the time of the plague. At the time of the plague, if this disease had not showed a clear difference, then it would have treated Muslims, Ahmadis and non-Ahmadis the same, then it would be impossible to see what we saw, that a lot of people were becoming Ahmadis. And if the Ahmadis were caught by this and they were more ill than others, then Ahmadis should have been completely annihilated by then. But there were so many baths were done at the time of the plague, and this began to help it go on. He's saying that there were towns upon towns, and if you ask them, they tell me, when did Ahmadiyyat come, then either they show they say that a lot of people were made Ahmadis because of the plague. So the disease of AIDS, which is a kind of plague, I think that my idea that it would come in 100 years. I made this indication, or I made this conjecture a long time before there was any sign of AIDS in the world, and at that time Allah made me write this. And when I came to England, and for the first time I heard the name of this disease, that there is another horrible disease that has fallen upon the earth, and they're calling it, they're saying, and the program that I was watching, for the first time this was being said about it, that it's a type of pestilence. Word that I remember, it's a different name of the plague, that they call it a different type of plague, and then the word plague used to be used. So this is the disease which I'm presenting before you, the statistics of which I'm presenting before you. It is spreading, and it is turning into a bombshell, and it will definitely explode one day. And when it will it explode? So saying that probably it will explode at the end of this century. And when it explodes, then because it will spread over a larger, more vast area, it will become a sign in favor of Ahmadiyyat, and inshallah because of this many people will become Ahmadis. But it is an obligation on the Jamaat that they should first spread this fact and warn people, because and to warn people of epidemics, etc., is a basic human obligation of any religious person, and he should definitely serve mankind in this regard. Otherwise, he is not a religious person. So, this warning, you must give this warning that this is a punishment. Keep away from it. The standard of this has to be raised by the Ahmadis, and they should tell people around that what's going to happen. People may not like it. Some may even not talk to you, but once they see what has happened and it enters into their ears and settles in their hearts, then when the time comes, then perhaps God may change them. This is the reason why in the Dars it is given so much importance, because it's a very important thing, which should be given importance, and it should be kept in the mind, and it should be useful. It should be kept in mind. And Huzur saying that this is spread in 193 countries of the world. 220,000 people were suffering from AIDS until January, and from January to December there was an increase of 31%, I think Huzur said, and until the end of 93, 13 to 15 million people were ill with HIV. Huzur saying, what's the difference between AIDS and HIV? HIV is, Huzur saying, it seems, they say that there's more HIV in comparison to 291,000 compared to that who were suffering from AIDS. 13 to 15 million people were suffering from HIV positive. So HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus. Immunodeficiency means that inside man there is a natural system of defense, and if there is a defect in that, it doesn't come into play, then and it doesn't have the capacity to perform the normal defense systems, then it is called immunodeficiency, and when it's in the form of a virus, then it's called immunodeficiency virus. And this virus, if it's present in the body, whether as a result of that it forms a disease or not, so then such a patient is known as HIV positive, and they take tests, and they find that this virus is in the body somewhere, and whether or not they are acting, they are doing. The person is suffering from not comes from AIDS or not comes afterwards. So he's saying that this has increased to 15 million until the end of 1995, and the speed at which the AIDS is increasing, it may well be that much faster than that HIV positive may have increased, the rates for that may have increased, because they can transfer the illness between people, and this is why they are spreading so fast. So this is the explosives that are being sprinkled all over the world, and these explosions are going to take place in the whole world. They are being prepared. In 1995, they think that this is going to increase to 16. It has increased to 16.9 million, and this is their estimation. Huzur is saying that the ideas, the estimations that people have made, they don't necessarily, facts don't necessarily follow them. They can increase at a far higher rate, but Huzur is saying that there are some 10 million people.
हाँ 193 ममालिक में इतने लोग
um,
एड्स के
sorry,
कैरियर हो चुके हैं इस
there
जरासीम के
are
इन जरासीम को
over
अपने
about
जिस्म में
around
लिए
20
हुए हैं
million people
इनमें सबसे ज़्यादा
who become the
मुतासर
carriers of
इस रिपोर्ट के
HIV,
अमेरिका
and
है
according to this
जहाँ
report, the most
5,01,310
suffering from this is in
अमेरिकन
America, where
इस बीमारी का
there is
शिकार
a
हो चुके हैं
huge number of Americans
यूरोप
who
में से
are in this
यूके में
disease. In Europe, in the
एड्स के
UK,
मरीजों की तादाद
the patients of AIDS are
11,494 जबकि स्पेन इटली फ्रांस में
11,494, whereas in Spain,
ये
Italy, and
तादाद जैसे
France,
बयान की है हर एक
as I
में
have
30,000
said, that
के लगभग है
it is around
यानी इससे कम
30,000
है
in each country, around less, a
जनूब
bit less
मशरकी
than
एशिया
that.
में
In
थाईलैंड में
the
जहाँ
in
ज़्यादा
Southeast
जोर है
Asia,
ईसाइयत का
in
वहाँ ये
Thailand, where there's
तादाद
more Christianity, this
22,135
is
बयान की जाती है
said to be
थाईलैंड भी उन
22,000
ममालिक में से
people. But
है
Thailand is one of those
जहाँ रक्त
countries
वसाइल
where
के ज़राए भी बहुत
the
महदूद हैं और
there's very
अदालत शुमार इकट्ठा
limited
करने के इम्कानात भी बहुत कम
facilities,
हैं
and there's
इसलिए ये 22
there
लाख
is
भी
not that
बहुत
much of a
ज़्यादा होने के बावजूद अमलन बहुत थोड़ी होगी तादाद अमलन इससे ज़्यादा होगी
capacity of collecting
ऑस्ट्रेलिया में
statistics, etc., is not very
तादाद
good.
रिपोर्ट की गई है
In Australia, there's
ऑस्ट्रेलिया के मुताबिक मुझे
5,000
खतरा है
people
कि यहाँ बहुत ज़्यादा
suffering from this. Huzur is saying that I think about Australia. I have a feeling
पर शुरू हो चुकी है
that in Australia it might increase at a higher rate because they
एहसास से कम तरीके से शिकार हो
they are copying America in this regard,
ऑस्ट्रेलिया में अमेरिकनों की नकाली बहुत आ गई है हर
and
चीज़ में
Australians are adopting the American style, and the same kind of films, etc., they are showing. So although it has arrived there a bit late, so it's in less number,
वहाँ
but
भी बहुत तेजी से फैल जाएगी
there's a danger that it's going to spread very fast there as
अब
well.
तक मरने वालों की तादाद में
Up to this point, the
अमेरिका
people
में
who
इस
die
रिपोर्ट
of
के
them,
मुताबिक
according to this report,
2,91,813
there have been 200,000
अफराद हलाक हो चुके हैं
200,000 people have
जो बहुत बड़ी
perished,
तादाद है
which is a huge number
एक ही मुल्क में
in the same country.
एक से मरने वाले अगर 2,91,000 हैं
If the
तो
people
अंदाजा
who
करें
die from AIDS are
ये
so
वायरस
many,
अंदर
then
अंदर कितना
imagine
फैल चुका होगा
how much this virus has
और
spread.
अगर कोई हवा
And if
कोई साजगार
it has
मौसम
a
इसको मुयसर आया
it has a
जिस तरह बाद जरासीम
a weather
साजगार
or
मौसमों का
something
इंतजार
which
करते हैं उसका ये
which
वायरस
makes it
फूटेगी और
flourish. So we're
सबसे
saying
बड़ी
that
हलाकत का
if
वाहिद
this
जरिया बन
happens,
सकती है
like it can be like with the other epidemics, then it will spread like wildfire, like
ये
it
तादाद
happens.
CDC
And these
यानी सेंट्रल
are
डिजीज कंट्रोल ऑफिस की एक रिपोर्ट से ली गई है
these statistics have been
ये
taken
इसके
from
तरीके
CDC,
से
Central Disease Control in
ये
America.
यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स डिपार्टमेंट
There
ऑफ हेल्थ एंड
is a
ह्यूमन सर्विसेज का एक हिस्सा है
is a part of United States Department of Health and Human Services.
पब्लिक हेल्थ डिजास्टर
The
के तौर
public,
पर
it has been regarded as a
इसके ऊपर
public health
किताबें भी लिखी
disaster,
जा
and books have been written about it.
और एक किताब
And
जो
there's a
बड़ी
book
मेहनत से तैयार
which
की
has
गई
been
है
collected with a lot of
हैनकॉक एंड अनवर
hard
करीम
work. It is Hancock and Anwar
CARIM
Kareem,
है ये
CARIM. Who are saying this
या
Anwar,
ये इजिप्शियन को इनका
or
तासुब
either he's
होगा या
an
कोई और
Egyptian
मुसलमान
person,
है जिसको या
or some other
टर्किश भी हो
Muslim,
सकता है वहाँ भी
could be Turkish as well.
ENVER
EN
एनवेर
Anwar,
और अगर ये टर्किश है तो फिर
ENEVER, and
करीम
if he's
जब पढ़ा जाता हो इनको
Turkish,
उसको पढ़ते हैं
then
आप
it
ये
would be
कहाँ पढ़ते
Jareem.
थे
Who was asking where the Turkish brother is.
According
According to the World Health Organization, AIDS is the worst public health disaster ever,
beyond anything
beyond anything in our comprehension.
ये उस हदीस की
This is
तारीफ
the
करने वाला बयान है
this is what that tradition is. This
ऐसी खतरनाक सजा पे खुदा
proves the
देता
truth
है
of
कि
that
बेहालों को
tradition, that then
उसका
Allah
जो ताउन
punishes
आएगी
such people with
उसकी
such
मिसाल
horrific
कभी
manner
इंसानी
that
तारीख
that
में दिखाई नहीं
plague will
दी
be such that as an example of which has
कहीं
never
भी
been
वैसी
seen in
बीमारी
human history,
इससे
that
पहले किसी
there has never
दुनिया
been a
में नहीं
disease
आई
like that in the world or
और
the
ये वही
planet.
बात
And it's the same
ये
thing that is
इस
being
किताब
written
में
in
दर्ज
this
की गई
book.
है कि according to World Health
According to
Organization
World Health
United
Organization, saying
Nations
this is a
के
United Nations institution.
इदारे World Health
Who
Organization
World Health
ने ये
Organization
बयान
has
दिया है
given this
the worst
statement that
public
the
health
worst
disaster
public health
ever,
disaster ever,
beyond
anything in our comprehension.
In 1986,
in 1986,
number of AIDS victims.
Number of AIDS victims. He says that what we have known up to now, there's open 1.5 million people in the United States, 300,000 in West Germany, 100,000 in Britain, and perhaps as many as 10 million in Africa. Of what? Using the statistics we've read so far, according to them, there is a difference here. 1.5 million in the United States alone. You're saying that how many had I said before? You're saying that this is the from 1986 to 1991. This in the Euromonitor's report has been, these stats have been taken. They say that this was the situation until 1991. So you're saying this book brings new statistics to the beginning of 1996, and it says that there are over 1.5 million people in the United States who are not just HIV positive, but they are suffering from full-blown AIDS. There are 1.5 million in America and 300,000 in West Germany alone, and 100,000 in the UK, and around 100 million in Africa. Who's already saying that in Africa, it's not just Christianity that is responsible for this plague. From where the AIDS started is the area which is a Christian majority area in Uganda. So some people say to me that the Prophet Islam has written about Europe and they're not Europe, and this come from Africa. You're saying when I went to Uganda, I had conducted special research as to why Uganda has been given the ascendancy in as being the first people where AIDS began, and that was a Christian area where this first began. So the relationship is still the same, that is from Christianity, but to say it's purely the Christian areas which are responsible for this, because there are some old idolatrous customs which they permit sexual relationships without any marriage, and is not regarded as a crime as it is considered in other countries. And one of the reasons for that is that in some tribes it is thought that if in front of ordinary people you get someone in your home, then this is a manner of wedding. And so a lot of people consider that as being a wedding. And so when they become Ahmadis, they come to us and they say that we have been together for 30 years. And he said that we have our own kind of marriage, but we should be married in an Islamic manner. So because they think that it's okay to conduct such relationships without any formality, then so this has given them a freedom, and anyone can get involved in such relationships without any hindrance. So because of this custom, there are some Muslim countries as well, Muslim areas where this has spread, and it's becoming a big danger. It is spreading in Senegal as well, and a lot of main reason is these old customs. So Ahmadis should in particular raise the voice in Africa, and Huzur saying that just as I have said about the homeopathic remedy, that should also be used for healing purposes. But when this becomes clear, then when this destiny comes into play, then no power can stop it. Huzur is saying that the plague has been mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ as coming in his to proving his truth, and he said that to stop. And he also told people how to keep away from that through certain medicines. So this is the sign of the truth of a prophet, that he is sympathetic, despite the fact that that is something which is for the sake of his that is an epidemic. For his sake, so he's saying that we should also try to stop it from spreading, and it doesn't mean that we are going against the sign of Allah. It's human decency and the care care of fellow human beings, which is the basics of religion. So you should try to remove this disease, and wherever it is not possible, then through advice you should tell people to keep away from it. And another quotation from this book, the thing I shall present before you. In September 1985, Dr. Hazeltine, chief of the laboratory of biomedical pharmacology at Harvard Medical School, declared that no less than 10 million people were then infected in Africa in AIDS belt. He says that in Africa, this is in 1985, when people were talking about 100 million, but now it has gone much further. Some African thinkers have raised this question. So they're saying that I have read it in some books myself, that in fact the blacks of America, the books that they have written, they have also mentioned this, that according to us, this is a conspiracy against Africa, that they, instead of saying that it is their weakness that has been spread in Africa, they say that this is a conspiracy by the West, and some books have been written in which, after much investigation, they have given proof that in such and such years, some injections were taken to Africa, and a lot of people were vaccinated with that, and people were told that they were for a particular epidemic, and they say that they were intentionally added AIDS to it, and wherever those infections, those vaccinations were spread, there was AIDS started to spread there. Who were saying that I don't accept this because these can be stories, that who were saying that, but I am just telling you that this is how much it spread, that people have made such theories as well, and people say that the Western countries close their eyes, and the Eastern, they're enjoying the state of the east of Africa, and they are happy that let Africa be destroyed, and then we will go and we will inhabited. Huzur is saying that most Africa will not remain. Africa will not become empty of these people, except the Muslim areas will remain. And how far that will remain, we don't know. The Congo, Zaire, Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia, and Angola.
But
the case of AIDS, there must be cases. The cases of AIDS have also been reported in the Central African Republic, Senegal, and Nigeria as well.
Dr. Jerry Falwell,
President of the Moral Majority,
whose Sunday morning services are televised and watched by millions of Americans, said in July 1983 that AIDS was God's punishment for breaking his laws and those of nature. I think I've mentioned this before as well. AIDS is changing not only sexual behavior but many other aspects of human relationship. I think we don't need this detail. Huzur is saying the word khase. What does this mean? What's the proper translation of that? Kunu qiradatan khasi'in. Huzur is saying that look at the word khasa because Huzur thinks that it has something to do with AIDS. The kunu qiradatan khasi'in, become like AIDS, ye despised. That if you are going to become like animals and you, in order to attain pleasures, and you are going to deny yourself spiritual pleasures, and your punishment is kunu qiradatan khasi'in, that you become khasi'in, qiradatan, like such monkeys which are who are the highest form of the species that are lesser than the human beings. Usually people say that man is born from ape. Huzur is saying that although we don't believe that, but we have to accept evolution, and which is because it's a law of nature, and the Quran mentions it very clearly. But before man, whatever link there was, one of them was Homo erectus, which has disappeared, and it was an animal which used to walk upright, but it wasn't couldn't be called human just yet. And then before that there was another animal which was between ape and Homo erectus, was the last one in the chain. Before that is the monkey. So if man is told to return, then he will become a monkey, and he can't be the links that are disappeared in the middle. So it's a strange thing that the AIDS, according to research, AIDS started from monkeys, and it doesn't affect some certain monkeys, but when it transfers into man, or if you transfer into some other forms of monkeys, some other species, then it becomes a huge destruction. So this is why I wrote with this Kunu qiradatan khasi'in, that perhaps this verse may be fulfilled in this way, that man may turn into such despised and humiliated monkeys, that man should then turn to those. A virus very similar to the one that causes AIDS was endemic among African green monkeys. There's a similar virus which was very similar to the AIDS virus in terms of its internal structure. They have looked at it with a microscope. They have seen its apparent, the way it looks and the way it moves, etc. And this is found among African green monkeys, and curiously the infection seems to have few effects in the green monkeys. This is strange that the one that has been made, the species that is the breeding ground, it doesn't harm it. And if this disease had eaten up the green monkey, then it could not have been spread. So they become the nourishers of of this disease, and yet it is itself, it is free of this disease. Yet, although the different monkey species, macaques, it has been found to cause an immunodeficiency syndrome resembling AIDS. In some other monkeys, when this spread, like a monkey called macaque, it has
displayed similar kind of indications that are found in human beings. Dr. Robert Gallo, the US air specialist, believes that the customs and among some African countries of eating uncooked green monkey brains regarded delicacy in Zaire could well have had a role to play. They say that in Zaire especially, green monkey's brains, was asking about the was asking what it's called in Urdu. Was saying that was asking about the Urdu word is called maghaz. When it is used for eating, then they don't call it brain, they call it maghaz in Urdu. So they eat the raw monkey brains, and this was regarded as a great feat in some tribes. That is supposed to be a very good meat, and it's supposed to be very delicious, and very rarely other food can ever compare. So this was it's very fashionable in Zaire that they eat freshly cut brains, and they say that perhaps it might be this way that it has transferred into man. But this the eating of the brain, this also has something to do with the moral wrongs. But this to say that this is only solely in Africa, this is wrong to say this. In the Far East countries such as Hong Kong, etc., where this disease is, I was asking where it's found.
Philippines, Thailand, So I was asking him if Imam Sahib, if he knows what he's about to talk about, and he does. Imam Sahib, so they were saying some tourists who stay in really good hotels, then the most expensive food that's presented to them for their luxuries, which they regard as an aphrodisiac, that means a great way of strengthening desires, which is that they put a monkey on a straight jacket. It is brought before people in the restaurant, just as they say that the most expensive restaurant is the one which shows the food cooking in front of you, and they put it in front of you, and then you see all the smell, smell the smells, etc. So this is a sign of a manner of really expensive restaurants. So there, what they do is they take a monkey who is in a straight jacket, and a person who has got a really sharp knife. He comes, he cuts the scalp in a round circle, and it takes off the top of the scalp, and the poor monkey is sitting there, and it can't do anything, it can't even make any noise, and then that is presented, and then people directly in that dish, which is the bottom part of the skull, people eat it directly with forks, and they think it's incredible. So why are they making Zaire? Why are they saying this about Zaire? Huzur is saying that they say this about African tourists. Huzur is saying that and Ahmadi saw this with his eyes, and he mentioned it. Huzur was asking Imam Sahib where he has heard it. Huzur was saying that when Imam Sahib was in Japan, he said that people who come from Hong Kong, they say this is what people used to do. Huzur is saying that, so who knows from where this disease has started. And Huzur is saying the one who didn't have a brain would have eaten the brain. Huzur is saying, I don't know what kind of things these are, and because it has to do with the sexual
excesses that this is done. Huzur is saying, on the one hand, they make so much noise about cruelty to animals, and then on the other hand, they are eating the brains of a live animal. So Huzur is saying that they are definitely they need to be punished. It's very appropriate for them to be punished. The last references, much of humankind has now left its home in the west tropics of Africa. In our migrations, we have separated ourselves not only from our ancestors, parasites that remain for the most part bound irrevocably to the tropics, but also from our primate cousins. We have been separated from these parasites for tens of thousands of years, are no longer resistant to the ravages of the disease they may cause. Dr. J. Levy of the University of California, San Francisco Medical Center makes a similar point. The AIDS virus probably originally occurred in Africa, was present in Africa, and existed in balanced pathogenicity in that area. Huzur saying this is not really necessary, but the fact of the matter is, what he's trying to say is that we were all born in Africa, and that's where we came from. Life began in Africa, and the next thing he's not mentioning, which I would like to mention, is that they will not die. And they will not die in Africa. They'll die of the disease which began from Africa. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun is no better way to say this. Everything has to return to Allah. And before death pushes them towards Allah, they should themselves go back to Allah with their own in their full consciousness. Out of choice, that would be much better for them. Anwar Karim is a Turkish name. Huzur was asking something. I think a note was passed to Huzur. Huzur is saying that I knew that it was a Turkish style, but I wanted to know if they read CSK. There is a reference which is about Ghana, Africa, what's happening in there as well. Within Africa, the statistics that we have, published statistics, that in the Muslims this is less, and in non-Muslims it is a lot more. This is the saying that I wish to present for you in the report from Ghana. In Ghana, it is factual that AIDS is spreading faster in Christian-dominated populations. From the figures given out by the National AIDS Control Program at the end of 1994, the northern region, which at least Muslims make about 70% of the communities, the prevalence of AIDS is lowest in the whole country. He says that the statistics that about Ghana, which the representative agencies of the government who have the power to collect such statistics, what they have published, from that we can derive that those northern countries where Muslim populations are more than 70%, there the AIDS disease is the least. And that's the least ratio, which is not found in other areas, parts of the country, and is in the Christian areas the AIDS is the most. Therefore, the revelation of the Promised Islam, that it will be in the Christian countries, and this is an incredible prophecy that is proving true. So these are proving the truth of the Promised Islam's prophecies in an incredible manner. However, of late, in some Muslim communities, such as those around war, AIDS is spreading very fast. Hazur is saying that now this is changing. Wa is the area where majority is of Muslims, but Christian and pagan tribes are there as well, and it seems that because of the intermixing, this AIDS is spreading now.
It is worth to note
that in those non-Ahmadi communities where by the grace of Allah we are making large converts, the prevalence of AIDS and other sexually transmitted diseases is very low.
Prevalence है ये prevalence है.
Is there a saying, do you say prevalence or prevalence?
माहिरीन ने तलफ़्फ़ुज़ बताएं.
Hazur saying, tell me people who are expert of pronunciation, otherwise who is saying that I'll have to look at my own book. Who was asking whether it's prevalent or prevalent. Who was saying that I say prevalence as well, but English pronunciation shows strange things sometimes. Who was saying, let me tell you what it says. It is worthwhile to note that in those non-Ahmadi communities where by the grace of Allah we are making large converts, the prevalence of AIDS and other sexually transmitted diseases is very low. So this is also speaks of their goodness, the piousness, those areas where this is the least. Obviously the people who are of better morals, and their Ahmadiyyat is being accepted compared to those areas where AIDS is more common. Eastern and Ashanti region have the highest rate of incidence of the disease, followed by Western region. These are mostly Christian areas. In the southern sector of the country, the translation is that in the Eastern and Ashanti regions, where AIDS is spreading the fastest rate, or where it is found the most, is the place where the Christians dominate. In the southern part, the central region, which has the highest Muslim population, particularly Ahmadis, has the least prevalence of AIDS. I was saying that it is a bit should be considered, it is known, it should be as the least prevalence of AIDS. Hazur saying there's something missing from here. Hazur saying that perhaps previously I have not written it properly. In the southern sector of the country, the central region, which is the highest Muslim population, particularly Ahmadis, has the least prevalence of AIDS. Hazur saying something is missing from here. The evidence of the least prevalence. In any case, I was saying what is meant is that in that region where the Ahmadiyyat is found in majority, then the whole area, the AIDS is the least. The national average of AIDS prevalence is estimated around 4.5%. It's a huge number. I was saying for Ghana, where the customary, because of the customary habits, I said that, as I said, that this may spread. There's a danger of it spreading. It's a very dangerous situation. The northern region is the lowest, with about 1.5%. In some areas of Ashanti and eastern regions are as high as 14.7%. So in these Christian countries, up to 14% AIDS is spread. On the African, the tourist countries like Senegal, Ivory Coast, the Gambia, Kenya, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Zaire, Uganda, etc., have AIDS prevalence between 8 and 25%, as oft-quoted figures in publications. And he says that those countries which are where the tourists come, which are called the AIDS belt, the Ghanaian researchers are saying that this has especially spread due to tourism. The local Africans are not responsible for it that much, as much as the outside people who come to these countries for purposes of luxury. They bring this disease and is spreading because of them. HIV positive in pregnant countries, in pregnant women in certain countries. So we were saying the pregnant women who have the AIDS virus, the ratios and the numbers, statistics of that, so we're saying that they have sent to me, and from this you will understand that as far as religion is concerned, how far this disease is, where this disease is more and where the number is less, number of sufferers is less. Kingali. In Kingali, there's 32%. In 32% of the ladies, this disease is found. This is a horrific figure, Huzur is saying. In 30% of pregnant ladies are the carriers of this disease. And this is that a region of Kingali where there's the least Muslim population. The least Muslim population and has the most figures for AIDS, and instead of reading all the figures, I'll come to the last one, and this is the same thing everywhere. But the most population is in Dar es Salaam, which they call Dar es Salaam. It's actually Dar es Salaam, Tanzania's the capital. And in that there's 12%. Huzur is saying this is a high amount, but this is the region where all of the statistics that are given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all of them, the largest Muslim population is in Dar es Salaam, and AIDS occurrence is the least, where there are least Muslim countries where there's most Christians, so there's more AIDS. We're saying that what Veri was saying is completely thrown on its head because of the statistics. These are the cities of the world with the highest AIDS cases in the world. The data are taken from publication. AIDS in Kenya. This is the title of the book, but it also mentions the AIDS belt and other countries. This book has been published by Kenyan National AIDS Control, and it's been printed by Denim Office Supplies, ENT. Now it's saying that let's bury AIDS and let's make let's try as much as we can for this. I was saying there's another problem that has been resolved in Turkish. See where it says che, there is a little there's a little indication under the C. And this means that they should be read as J, and when it's not there, just like here, Anwar Kareem, there was no little dash under the C, so it should be Kareem, not Cherim. And K is written as K. Huzur saying that you should have a whole. They're saying what I'm asking. What I wanted to know that if C is written like this, will it be read as Che or not? And if it's written like this, it will be said with K instead of that. They're saying they keep asking they keep telling me about K, and I want to know about C. So we're saying let's start the next verse, because otherwise you won't be able to come out of this. The verse of in Khiftum is verse 4, and now we shall go to verse 5 of Surah An-Nisa.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وآتوا النساء صدقاتهن نحلة فإن طبن لكم عن شيء منه نفسا فكلوه هنيئا مريئا. Surah Nisa, Ayat 5.
This is verse 5 of Surah Nisa, chapter 4. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وآتوا النساء صدقاتهن النهلة, and give the women their dowries willingly. So saying the word nihla has two meanings at the same time. One is to give with happiness and one is as an obligation. We're saying it's a strange word that's chosen here by the Holy Quran, which has both meanings at the same time, which are apparently contradictory to each other, but here they are both appropriate. You can give an obligation, fulfill an obligation, you throw it at somebody's head and say, here, take it and get lost. And one is to give with pleasure and with respect, and it says that if you're going to leave them, you should leave them with favor. So the word nihla has combined both these meanings, and then Allah says saduqat is the plural of saduqa or many other words which are used for dowry, and the pronunciation is different, but the plural will be the same word, saduqatihinna. Manjad, which is a book of dictionary, has said that the singular words that make this word are as-sadqatu, as-sudqatu, was-saduqatu, was-suduqatu, was-sadaqu, was-sidaqu, asdiqa, was-suduq. All of these words, the plural of this, according to Majid lexicon, is asdiqa and suduq, whereas the Holy Quran has used the word saduqatihinna. Perhaps this is the reason why at the occasion of saduqat, the Orientalists, they become involved in a lot of doubts as to what this means, what is the subject, how could the dowry be used. Lane, who is a Western writer who has written a very good Arabic dictionary, he has done a better investigation of this, and he writes that the word saduqa is the dialect of Hijaz, and the way to read it is Sadiqa is Tamim's dialect, and Sadiqa's plural is Saduqat. So although Munjid hasn't written this, but Lane has written it, and he says that this is in fact dialect of the people of Hijaz. The different words that are used for dowry, they used to call it Saduqa, and the plural of that is Saduqa. Therefore, this is a firm fact now established. Here, this refers to dowry, and all commentators and translators have without doubt translated this to refer to dowry. But the Orientalists who keep searching for excuses against Islam, they have had sat here and says that sadaqah cannot be dowry, and they say that one of them have said that is only in this place that it is used in this manner. Huzur is saying that after Lane's witness, after his statement, who is a Western person, there's no further, shouldn't be any further disagreement about this, which settles the matter. So Fain Tibna is saying that Mataba Lakum Nisai just says that something that pleases you, that with your heartfelt pleasure, which has no semblance of any compulsion, and in such a situation, if women leave some of what they, some of it, nafsan, by themselves, فَكُلُوهُ هَنِيًّا مَرِيًّا, then you should eat of it. You don't need to, you can eat as much as you like. There is no
you should not feel anything about it, any hesitation about it. Huzur is saying that I wish to tell you that this subject, why this subject has been is important for this to be mentioned. First of all, because those people who give their wives dowries with pleasure and easily, there is a natural reaction found in women that those women do not have an interest in such dowry. So a husband is so loving that he fulfills the rights of those women. Then the fact of the matter is that women show extreme generosity, and sometimes they say it doesn't matter. We are both the same. There is no difference in us, so you can use it yourself. This is one of the aspects which is important to be mentioned here, because before this, justice is mentioned, that is to fulfill women's rights with justice, and after this, Allah then brings the subject of favor. So here, the favor and justice is combined in such a beautiful way that the glory of the Holy Quran becomes very evident. So the word used here is nihla, in which there is the obligation and favor is combined, and favor is based on justice. Huzur is saying that, so Allah is saying that don't just be show favor, and the obligation that's been set upon you, you should fulfill it with favor, with such pleasure that it has a good effect on the women. And if you do this, then you will understand that hal jazaa'ul ihsan illa al ihsan, that the response of a favor is always going to be favor, and your situation in your house will become will become peaceful, and you will find the response to that favor from your wives. And if as a result of your favor, these things have not been mentioned openly, but these things are emanating from this, you say, then how will they treat you if you do this? If they, with love, they, from their bottom of their hearts, they want to leave some behind. They want to give some of it back, some of the dowry back. Then you can spend it. And the other reason for such manner of mention is that to give a gift and then taking it back. The Holy Prophet ﷺ has said something so certain about it, that the Muslims hated taking back a gift, because the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that doing that is like vomiting and then licking it. This is the opposite of that. Huzur is saying that there was a hesitation against something like this among the Muslims. So the Muslim society, when they are alleged that they don't fulfill the rights of women, and they take away usurp the rights of orphans, and they say that women had no value, and they were being permitted to do anything they want. This is completely wrong. The Holy Quran says protect their wealth, and the Quran is saying that we expect more of you, and this is how you are. Then whatever you give them, if you are true servants of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, then even if you fulfill your obligation, you'll do so in a beautiful manner. And if in response they respond to it, then we know that you are very broad-minded, and you are on a high status of moral status, and you will not like to take it back. So a society which is as poor as it was at the time of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, when these verses are being revealed, at that time, to expect of them such broad-mindedness,
we will not take it back. Huzur is saying that one of the causes of revelation of this verse that has been described, which expresses the state of the hearts of the believers. Teachings had embedded themselves embedded itself in their hearts, and they would never take back anything that they gave. And the other thing which is worth mentioning is Niyam Maria. People say that the dowry should be four dirhams or 40 dirhams or something minor like that. Huzur saying, what happens to them when they read this verse? They say this is saying that you should Allah is saying that when you return, if they return it, you should be spend it, enjoy it as something pleasant and wholesome. Huzur saying that the enjoyment means that it is such a large amount of money that even if a little bit of it is given back, then it will be a lot of wealth comes to your hand. The rest we shall do tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.